Hey guys, it's Isabella here and welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be my Sonic the Hedgehog 3 review. This will have some spoilers in it, so just be aware of that. I just need to get my thoughts and feelings out because this movie really emotionally hit me. And yeah, let's just get to the video. Okay, so the movie starts with the Shadow waking up scene on Prison Island in Tokyo. And oh my god, his breakout was badass. He basically took out all the soldiers. And he like punched through the glass container he was in, and it was so epic the way they shot it and the slow-mo. It was so cool. I also liked it when he kicked the military's butt in Tokyo. That was great. I was like, you go, Shadow. Even though you're doing very bad things. I just love Shadow. He's one of my favorite fictional characters, and I know I have a lot of them. But he's also one of my favorite Sonic characters. I actually think I might like him more than Sonic. I don't know if that's wrong to say, but yeah, I love that scene. So the next thing I'd like to say about the movie, as always, Knuckles is hilarious. Oh man, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I don't have a word for it, but just the way he says certain things, it just cracks me up every time. Like the way he says base of ball in the second one was hilarious. He's very funny, and then he's like, I'm 1,000,000% muscle. Like, anyway. Those are just some examples, but anyway, in the beginning, we see the Sonic family basically just trying to enjoy their celebration of Sonic's, 1-year anniversary of being on Earth, which is so sweet. I mean, come on, that is adorable. It was wholesome until they were interrupted by the military, which, of course, they need Team Sonic's assistance to take down Shadow, so that's a big part of it. Yeah, then Tom and Sonic have this big talk, and Sonic's just basically realizing that even though he lost someone important to him, he didn't let it change who he was, which is a very important part of his arc for this movie because that contrasts from him and Shadow's, that Shadow decides to do some very bad things and change who he is because of the loss that he goes through. And so it was a really cute, cool parallel. I really, really liked that. Okay, so when Shadow finally faces off with Team Sonic, it is pretty major. I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe it was epic-ish. I mean, he took all 3 of them out. And it was very, very fast. And then Sonic goes after Shadow after he gets on his motorcycle, which was epic. They go up a building, and oh man, the impact of those two, super epic. The shots were incredible. And yeah, I really liked that battle. There's lots of cool battles in this, and I really liked that. So, also, there was some things that they changed from the games to the movie. There's no space colony in this universe, and which I was like, it makes sense, because this story takes place on Earth, and it's hard to believe that there would be a space colony up there. So, it's basically there's just a lab on Earth where Shadow is being tested and stuff, which I was okay with. I was okay with the change. It's much easier to swallow. So I was okay with that. One thing I really wanted to see in this movie were scenes, flashbacks of Shadow and Maria, and we got that in spades. I was so happy. Their scenes were so cute, and I liked getting to see Maria's first encounter with Shadow. And it was so funny and so sweet, and it it tore my heartstrings. I love those two. They're the best. And it gets me emotional thinking of it. But yeah, Maria was basically the only one on the base that basically was Shadow's friend while the doctors were just studying him to try and understand him. Basically in this universe, instead of Gerald creating Shadow, Shadow's origin is slightly different. He basically comes from space in a frozen meteor. So, I like that. It's easier to swallow for people, and it's a lot less lore to dump on to new viewers, and I liked it. It simplifies it, but Shadow also says in the movie that he doesn't know where he came from, and so I think they might go into more depth about that at some point. Maybe it'll still be the same. Maybe we'll still get the black arms. I don't know. But for now, we don't know where Shadow came from. But it's an interesting story that they could possibly continue to explore. I also liked seeing that the only person Shadow ever smiles with is Maria. It's like those guys who are like, I hate everyone but you. It's so adorable, and I love that. It's like, Maria's the only person who gets to see Shadow that version of Shadow. Everyone else gets to see the tough exterior, but not her. And I just love that about their friendship. It's so sweet. And, I just love that. Something else in the movie, though, there were some things that bugged me. Gerald Robotnik was a bit too silly for my taste. That's not how I thought of him at all. I can understand Jim Carrey's Eggman being very silly, but I don't know, Gerald just doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would have been a silly dude. But yeah, I like that they changed the story a bit and that Eggman's grandfather, Gerald, isn't dead in this version. He's alive and he actually does contribute to the plot of the story, which I like that difference a lot. I just wish they would have done his character a bit better and less comedic. Also, he was a jerk. I did not like him at all. Every other iteration of Gerald that I've seen in the games is likable, but this one is not very likable. He basically tried to kill his long-lost grandson in the end, so I was just like, I don't like you. You kind of suck. So, yeah, that's how I felt about him. Next thing I'd like to talk about, Agent Stone has had, quite the arc with Eggman, especially, throughout all the films, but especially in this one. And I loved the ending where Eggman basically admits that Agent Stone is one of the only people who cares about him and is his, friend, which I think is so sweet because poor Agent Stone, he doesn't get paid enough for all the shit that he does for Eggman. He is committed to that job, man. If someone were treating me that bad, I would have quit the job long ago. But he is a committed guy, and now I guess he's free to do as he wishes. I hope all the best for him. But yeah, poor guy goes from feeling completely useless and unimportant to then feeling like, oh my god, he appreciates what I've done for him. And so I was just like, that's so touching, So, Tom gets injured in the movie, but didn't die, so I was okay with it. But that was the only thing I was kind of mad at Shadow for doing. You hurt Tom, for shame. But he didn't know it was Tom, but still, it was, I knew he wasn't dead, but still, it was kind of like, bad Shadow. Sonic's arc also got, a little more stuff. Sonic basically loses his way a little bit, after Tom gets hurt, and abandons his friends/team, which was not cool, but good for his character arc. Especially when Shadow tells him he's abandoned everyone who loves him, and, what kind of hero does that? And so, yeah, it was Sonic and Shadow are going, head to head, and it was just so Like, such an enlightening conversation that they have. Sonic and Shadow also have this touching moment. And Shadow learns that losing someone shouldn't change who you are, and that vengeance doesn't help anyone. And Sonic basically learned this lesson from Tom in the beginning of the movie, and just now kind of remembered it when he was about to kill Shadow. So yeah, I like the how he was explaining that to Shadow, and it was super sweet, super emotional. The Super Sonic and Shadow moments were awesome. I loved the cinematography. I loved the shots. I love that they did the iconic pose with both of them, which was super cool. The superpower was great. It looked amazing. I also liked Eggman sacrificing his life for the good of the planet and being like, if I can't rule the world, might as well save it. You know what? Good job, dude. You finally turned yourself around. And if you're really dead, sayonara. In the end of the movie, we get to see that Shadow, we thought Shadow was like disappeared or whatever, or dead, but we're shown that Shadow isn't dead, so we'll hopefully be seeing more of him, because I absolutely love Shadow. He's my favorite character, and he needs to find a life purpose. I want him to find friends. I want him to fill that heart with love, because poor guy deserves it. Oh man, poor guy lost Maria, and it's just like, that breaks me every time. I can't. It makes me so sad. Oh man, he deserves the best, and I'm so sad that he had to lose his best friend. The last thing I'd like to talk about is the end credit scene, or mid-credit scene, where they reveal the new character. And that is, Amy gets revealed at the end, along with a lot of Metal Sonics. Can't wait to see what they do with Amy. Wonder how they're gonna play her, if she's gonna be the lovesick Hedgehog after Sonic, or if she's gonna be more, independent. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, those are all my thoughts on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Sorry if this was a bit long, but I really wanted to have a discussion about this and a review. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yeah, the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because there were a few things, like Gerald was a bit too silly. And, yeah, but overall, everything was really great. Let me know if you guys liked the movie or saw it. I will forever feel so sad for Shadow. I just wish he was a real person, so I could go and give him a hug and tell him it's gonna be alright. Poor guy. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.